Good evening. I would like to welcome everyone to Phi Theta Kappa's 2018 Spring Induction Ceremony. The purpose of Phi Theta Kappa shall be to recognize and encourage scholarship among two-year college students. To achieve this purpose, Phi Theta Kappa shall provide opportunity for the development of leadership and service, for an intellectual climate for exchange of ideas and ideals, for lively fellowship for scholars, and for stimulation of interest in continuing academic excellence. Phi Theta Kappa's mission is twofold. 1, recognize and encourage the academic achievement of two-year college students. And 2, provide opportunities for individual growth and development through participation in honors, leadership, service, and fellowship programming. I turn the floor over to Beta Zeta Phi Chapter Secretary, Kimmy Adazme.
Good evening. My name is Kimmy Adazme, and I am the current Secretary of Beta Zeta Phi Chapter of Phi Theta Kappa at Muscatine Community College. Established by Missouri two-year college presidents in 1918, Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society serves to recognize and encourage the academic achievement of two-year college students and provides opportunities for individual growth and development through honors, leadership, and service programming. Today, Phi Theta Kappa is the largest honor society in America's higher education, with more than 2 million members and 1,200 chapters located in 50 United States, U.S. territories, Canada, and Germany. In 1929, the American Association of Community Colleges recognized Phi Theta Kappa as the official honor society for two-year colleges. I'd like to introduce Dr. Jeremy Pickard. Dr. Pickard serves as Dean of Instruction at Muscatine Community College. He supports academic excellence on campus by promoting faculty to create engaged learning environments which foster student development and success. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Jeremy Pickard.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. I think this is a really special time. Thanks to the faculty members who came as well as the student. I have a former student over here that's already given me some harassment, so or no throwing any things or any verbal assaults. So it is good to have everyone here, though. And I'm really happy we're putting this on camera because I've heard a camera adds, 20 pounds of intelligence to someone who's speaking in front of a microphone. So I'm excited about that. Hey, I want to thank you all for being here again. As you know, and what we just heard, that the mission of Phi Theta Kappa was to recognize academic achievement of college students and to provide opportunities for them to grow as scholars and leaders. Today we'll actually be doing that. We will be recognizing their academic achievement. But did you catch the 4-letter word at the end of that mission statement? It was growth. So they're not just satisfied with you. It's grow, actually. I added the grow to the TH. I know. See, we got some sharp ones, right? They're bright. They're paying attention. So grow is that 4-letter word. And that's really probably one of the most important words. So you're going to get recognized today for what you've done and your achievements. But there's an expectation that you're not done yet. There's an expectation that you have potential that is not yet realized. And so this couldn't be more exciting for me because I'm actually reading a book right now called Grit by Angela Duckworth, and some of you may be familiar with that. And she talks essentially about the 3 principles that it takes to continue to grow in your life. I'll ask you a question here. When I say that hard work trumps talent, who would agree with that statement? Okay, so the research tells us that 66% of the population actually believe that stat. But when they run studies on people, we don't actually put that into practice. We always look for the most talented, the ones who are naturally gifted, the ones who maybe don't work as hard. And this is backed up by tons of research. They actually did a research project where they said there was 2 musicians. One was naturally talented, and the one had worked really hard to get where they were in their career. And you needed to tell, which one would rank better. So they put that in front of a bunch of professionals. But the weird part was that they didn't know. Each one was evaluating different pieces. They played the exact same piece for the people who were doing the evaluation. Which person do you think ranked higher, the naturally talented one or the one that they said would work the hardest? the naturally talented one, right? So even though we believe that, and even though we feel that hard work does pay off, we need to actually change some of our mindset. And I think that happens sometimes with students. I'm naturally talented, or I'm not naturally talented, and that determines kind of our outset or our onlook on what we're going to do and for our achievement. So I would encourage you is believe that statement. Stats will show us that talent actually does not outweigh hard work. Hard work trumps that. What it says in the next lesson you learn from her book is the impact on effort has a significant result of your achievement. In fact, they figure it's at least twofold. So if you're talented, you have to have talent, and you combine that with effort, and then what you get is a skill, right? Everyone believes that. I have some talent, I put some effort into that talent, and as a result of that, I'm skilled in some area. The problem is that skill is not really good just by itself. You actually have to do something with the skill in order to achieve talent. So you take that skill, you add more effort in before you hit achievement. Get where I'm going with that? So essentially what you're saying is talent times effort equals achievement. It's double the weight of just the talent. If you do nothing with it or put no effort into it, it doesn't count for nearly anything. So I would encourage you to really hone in on what the effort is. So we believe that it could be a factor of 2, 7, 10, or even maybe 500. Regardless of that, we know that effort significantly outweighs simply talent. The other thing then, in order to realize your dream, is you have to have a really big vision, something greater than yourself to realize, but it takes the day-to-day small things to work your way towards that. Anybody heard of that book called Outliers? Some of you are shaking your head. They look at people like Bill Gates and the Beatles, and we think, well, they're just outliers. They're people who are naturally gifted and were always gifted. What they don't tell you is the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours that the Beatles put in playing in a certain club before they actually released their first album. And the thousands of hours that Bill Gates put in a computer lab. He used to sneak out of his house in the evening, right around 10 o'clock after his parents put him to bed. And he had access to the lab at the local high school that happened to have a computer in it. And he literally would spend all night working in there and get home before his mom or dad would realize he had snuck out of the house. And he put in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours before he actually released and launched his first product. So it's those little things to going after that big dream you have to do daily after day after day after day. So again, I'll tell you, I'm looking at this group of people here. You guys have tons of potential. More potential, it's just unlimited amount of potential. And if I were to bring you back here in about 10 or 15 years and offer you the same compliment, would it be a compliment anymore? Have you realized your potential? What are you going to do with the potential that has been given to you or put in front of you? Are you willing to have enough grit in you in order to do the day-to-day things, in order to exercise, not just relying on your talent, but the effort that it's going to take to get you to where you need to go? I had a guidance counselor in high school that shared with me what I told him what my aspirations were. He kind of said, well, I don't actually think you're talented enough to be able to do that. Why don't you think about plan B? And what I wanted to be was, I wanted to be a doctor. Someone did a nice job of introducing me. I don't remember who it was. And I do have the doctor in front of me. And I would say I've never been the brightest kid in the room, but there is a part of me that I believe that I've had to work pretty hard in order to be able to do that. And what they weren't measuring was, they were simply looking at me saying, all right, what are your attributes? What are your talents? And that is going to ultimately do that. What they didn't assess was, do you have enough grit in you to take one homework assignment after one homework assignment after one reading assignment, one quiz, one paper, and be able to do that in order to achieve academically? And it's not going to be any different in the profession that you choose. It's that one work you do in the committee, it's that one person that you influence, it's that one leadership role that you have in order to continue doing that. So, the 4-letter word, or 6-letter word, grow or growth, don't miss that in that mission statement. Don't lose that, because you have a ton of potential. And when I come back and meet you 10, 15, 20 years from now, I want to say, wow, you really realized your potential. You took the time to grow every single day and to do the hard things it takes in order to be successful. So with that, I'm really excited for the rest of the ceremony. I'm really honored that you guys are part of our institution and our college, and I'm looking forward to recognizing you folks this evening. Thanks.
Dr. Pickard. My name is McKenna Freitag, and I am the current Vice President of the Beta Zeta Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa at Muscatine Community College. Honored guests and fellow Phi Theta Kappa members, I am pleased to present to you these candidates for membership into our honor society. These students have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship as their hallmarks. I recommend these for acceptance into the Beta Zeta Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. You are about to be inducted into a scholarly fellowship which embraces community colleges not only in our state, but of the nation and the world. This fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa, and our chapter is Beta Zeta Phi. After induction, you will find among the members an atmosphere of scholarship to which you must give yourself in order that the organization may be meaningful to you. In my hand, I have a candle, symbolic of knowledge, which is the servant of wisdom, which dwells with prudence and leads in the way of righteousness in the midst of the path of judgment. I have the white rose typifying the purity and beauty of life with its white buds signifying intelligent associations. This, and behind me, is the emblem of Phi Theta Kappa. It consists of a golden slab keyed at the top and bottom. The golden field refers to the golden opportunities that abound on every hand for society folk to evidence their culture and perform good works. Since gold is the most noble of metals, it shall have a further significance to our society, for it shall represent that nobility attained by those who achieve intellectual leadership. Across the slab you will observe a black band. It represents the three ideals which bind us together. They are true wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Behind the band is a wreath, on the one side composed of oak leaves, and on the other laurel. The oak leaves stand for stability and strength of character, while with the grace, curling leaves of the laurel signify achievement and success, all attributes for membership in our society. This badge stands for a symbol for the high idealism of our organization and membership in our select group. You have studied the Constitution for this organization, the purpose of which is to foster a spirit of devotion to study and to scholarly ideals among its members, and whose principles are embodied in the Greek letters, which stands for wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Now that the standards and ideals of this organization have been fully revealed to you, come to complete the pledge, which admits you into complete fellowship. As I call your name, please make your way to the right hand of the stage. Laura Sadie Saros. Delaney Clark. Megan Church. Dina Dawson. Lauren Gold. Megan Keeney. and Jasmine Velasco. Repeat after me. I do solemnly promise on the 12th day of April 2018 to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to keep this object and aim in mind, and I do solemnly promise allegiance to my fellow members and promise to aid them in all worthy endeavors.
It is my pleasure to welcome you into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and the lively fellowship of scholars it affords. I salute you for your accomplishment. I charge you to explore always for truth and to dedicate yourselves to the cultivation of the well-reasoned life, a prelude to service and honor.
I present to you Beta Zeta Phi's Fall 2017 and Spring 2018 inductees.
At this time, I would like to introduce Dina Dawson, who will serve as the Vice President for the 2018-2019 school year. Dina, as Vice President, you shall perform all duties of the President in the event of their absence, take roll at all meetings, coordinate all meetings, head the committee reviewing the chapter's bylaws and the annual report. Dina, if you agree to these standards, repeat after me. I, Dina Dawson, do solemnly promise to fulfill, to the best of my ability, my duties as the Vice President of the Beta Zeta Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa.
It has been an honor to serve as this year's Beta Zeta Phi Chapter Vice President. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to Delaney Clark, who will serve as the 2018-2019 Beta Zeta Phi Chapter President. Delaney, as the President, you shall proceed over all business meetings, appoint and establish any necessary committees, vote only in case of a tie, serve as an ex officio member on all committees, present business to the organization, represent the organization at all times, appoint a committee to review and or revise the chapter bylaws annually, appoint a committee to prepare the annual report to be submitted to headquarters each spring. If you agree to the above, Delaney, will you please repeat after me? I, Delaney Clark, do solemnly promise to fulfill, to the best of my ability, my duties as President of the Beta Zeta Phi Chapter of Phi Theta Kappa.
to the new officer team, can't say quite just yet. You are now recognized as executive officers of the Beta Zeta Phi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. We pledge the support of the members of this chapter to you.
I would like to thank everyone on behalf of the new and current officer team for coming out tonight. We truly appreciate it. We hope to see you all at our next induction ceremony. We invite you to stop by and enjoy some refreshments which are located in the back. Thanks again for coming and have a great night.